If Zach's song isn't in your music library, it needs to be now. All right, Carol now from KMSP WFTC.
Well, if ever there was a project worthy of an Emmy, it's Zach's, so that's worth waiting for. I really want to thank you, the NATIS members and your stations, for all of the wonderful support you've shown this organization over the past 12 years. It is your high standard for excellence for these awards that help us attract regional sponsors to raise money for high school and college scholarships for young people to study all forms of media. For the past 7 years, Slumberland has supported 16 scholarships. You can read about this year's students in your programs or on our website. Slumberland supports our mission of excellence in developing the next generation of leaders who are making a difference in our communities. To help me present the Slumberland Making a Difference Award is Tom Hedrick, Marketing Director for Slumberland. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you to all the professionals in the upper Midwest Emmy region. At Slumberland, we believe giving back to the community is not only a good idea, but an essential part of doing business. Citizenship and stewardship are two of the company's core values. That's why a portion of the money you spend at Slumberland is returned to your community through charitable giving. As a family-owned business, we're proud to support activities and organizations that strengthen families and provide assistance to children and families in need. Thank you.
This is the third year that Slumberland has helped us with the Making a Difference Award, which honors an individual or a company which helped change a life or a community.
Tonight, we're pleased to honor virtually the entire Duluth media community. Record flooding destroyed homes, streets, businesses, and communities last year. There was some federal relief, but it fell short to help all those ravaged by floodwaters.
The Duluth media not only covered the story, but put aside ratings and competition to join together to produce a telethon to help their community.
No one could have prepared for what would happen in the 24-hour time span that started on June 19th. Floodwaters washed away homes, personal belongings, and the memories of thousands across the Northland.
All the family heirlooms, everything. I got 6 feet of water in the basement. Everything's gone.
A day-long storm left 10 inches of rain and more than $100 million in damage.
This morning it was like looking at the television, watching a major disaster on television someplace else.
It's just horrific. I mean, it's just to see the wipeouts of whole roads that I've been traveling on for years.
It was evident that the Duluth television media community needed to respond not just with coverage, but with care.
Hello and welcome to our very special programming tonight.
In an unprecedented move, less than 4 weeks after the floods, KBJR and KDLH-TV joined forces with the Northland chapter of the United Way and put a call out to our colleagues, WDIO, KQDS, and WDSE, to help in the flood relief efforts.
This is history in the making. In my 30-year career, I've never seen anything like this, to have all the media outlets and the Duluth News Tribune in one spot.
This is the epitome of we're all in this together. You know, when you have all the TV stations coming together like this to put up their resources that they have available.
This is what we are supposed to do, and we can do it well, is come together for big events and hopefully help the community.
Together, we pooled our resources to produce a flood relief telethon, raising nearly $100,000 for the United Way Twin Ports Regional Long-Term Flood Recovery Fund.
We will be working with a long-term regional committee that will be representative of individuals from across the region to distribute the funds so that we can meet the most needs in the areas that have been affected.
Another sign of just how big the hearts are in the Northland.
Please welcome Barbara Rialts from KBJR-TV, Steve Goodspeed from WDIO-TV, Dan Klaus from KQDS-TV, and Greg Grell from KDSE-WRPT-TV.
On a day in June, a year ago, it started to rain. And for 24 hours, it didn't stop, and it rained hard. And when it was all done, we had what we've come to know as the flood of the century. And the devastation was terrible. And I know devastation is an overused word, but if you'd covered that story and you'd gone out to see the terrible damage that was done, the infrastructure, the streets. We went out to cover the streets of Duluth, and there were no streets in many cases. The homes, so many homes were just completely inundated with water, water up beyond the first floor. The kids didn't have shoes, they didn't have clothes, they didn't have their toys. It was a terrible, terrible flood. And FEMA came to town, and they looked at it, and they said, okay, we're going to help with the infrastructure, we're going to help the communities, but we can't help the individuals. And so the news directors of Duluth and I got together and we talked about what we could do because it was beyond coverage, it was compassion. And so we decided we'd have a telethon. And we talked with the United Way of Greater Duluth because we didn't know anything about money, and the United Way agreed to gather the money, to collect the money, and to disperse it to the people that really needed it. They knew, they could tell who was really in need. And that night, WDSE, our public television station, agreed to host our telethon. And for 2 hours, all of us, and we're all in competition, we're like any of you guys, we're competing with each other to get the most ratings. But that night, we decided that we would all go on TV, and for 2 hours we held a telethon. We staffed the telephones with nonprofits and politicians and just business people who wanted to volunteer. And from the time we went on the air until the time we went off the air, the phones never stopped ringing. It was wonderful. We raised about, in 2 hours, we raised about $100,000. And that sort of primed the pump for the United Way Fund, which then went on to collect about $1 million for the community and dispersed it to the people who were so in need. That was gratifying enough for all of us. And then for Slumberland and the board, the Emmy board, to recognize what we did, that's just icing on the cake. Right?
It was really a proud day for us here at WDSE and Duluth, the public TV station. You know, we do pledge quite a bit, so we kind of know how to do the phones, so that was a benefit for us. But it really shows the power, and don't ever forget the power that you have as a broadcaster. And I just want to thank all these other great stations, Steve and KQDS, Fox, for all the help they gave. It was a great event and really something to be proud of. Thank you.